Hi SimTech Simulationers, another review for you today. If you've not watched the previous ones, please check in the description below. Welcome to this product review on Tech TV, a one-stop shop for simulation tech. We hope you like them and hope they're useful and informative. What we intend to do is give a good comprehensive review on the product, giving it a non-biased view from the tech point of view, and then also an end user, medical professional on the products as well. So it's not just our view, it's on how it actually functions as a training bit of kit as well, rather than just the functionality of the equipment. Just a quick reminder to please subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already, and have a check out our other videos. Hopefully these videos will allow you to see whether the product actually does what it says it does, and you can make your choice on whether you want this product or not from them. These videos aren't sponsored, and this is equipment that we have or have borrowed. These ones we've actually got in the centre. Hopefully these videos will be useful for anybody that's got to buy equipment or has to train on equipment without having to buy them. You can have a look on here and see what it is that the product does and what things are good about it, what things are bad about it, before you actually have to spend the money on the product. I'm Paul Knight from Tech TV. On today's review we've got TruCorp's AirSim Combo X. If you've not seen our unboxing already, click in the link above or in the description below. We'll put them both in there. So let's get to the review. Some of its features. There are a fair few, so bear with me. Needle and surgical cryothyroidotomy, percutaneous tracheostomy, double nasotracheal intubation, bag valve mask ventilation techniques, full range of supraglottic device insertion, direct and video laryngoscopy including Selic maneuver, awake fibre optic examination, endotracheal tube insertion, combi tube insertion, and nasogastric tube insertion techniques. Apologies for any of the pronunciations of those, probably got them wrong. That's all the features that this has available to it, but there are other manufacturers and companies which do other similar sort of models, so let's go through those quickly. There are companies like Limbs and Things and Rouilly who also sell this exact same one, but they have got their own ones as well. Rouilly have the AN3685 Advanced Airway Larry Trainer with stand. This one's around £1,371 excluding VAT and carriage. Obviously this varies depending on where you're getting it to. It has the tongue swelling like this one does, but it doesn't have the crike, but it's full airway. Laerdal have the Airway Management Trainer, link will be in the description below. This one is around £1,634, excluding VAT and carriage again. Again, no crike, but will airway like this will. We've got similar ones in the centre and we've been using them for years. It is the old version now. They are very robust. We'll may do a review on the older products if you want us to at some point. On to Simulab's Airway Man. This one is £2,777, excluding VAT and carriage. Carriage from them is around £30. Again, no tongue swelling like this one. They do have the crike on their one, and it's around £170 for a 12 pack, which works out about £9 per student on their recommendations. So there are other models out there, so it all depends on what type of thing you want to do with it and features you need from the model. We bought ours for the intention to use it for the crike mainly, as well as having a full airway. The AirSim Combo X version that we have here is £1,550 excluding VAT and carriage, but price may vary depending on how many you buy. I think we got some discount because we bought multiple ones, so this is obviously down to what they want to give out to you at the time. If you're buying 20 or 30 of them, I'm sure the price would come down. So what do we think of the products? Price wise, they're all around the same sort of ballpark figure of around £2,000 excluding VAT and carriage. prices on the spares and the repairs for bits and bobs vary depending on which model you're having, so the Cryoc things will have a cost to them, because obviously you're going to be cutting them and making holes in them, so that will be something you need to repair or work out some way of fixing it in-house that you then don't need to charge or anything. The shipping from TruCorp was fantastic. We ordered them and they were with us really quick, a lot sooner than we thought they were going to be, which is always nice for getting new kit in the centre. So they actually come with a 1-year warranty on them, covering manufacturing faults and flaws. This model actually comes with a 5-year warranty, which is a blooming long time. Obviously this is down to their terms and conditions. Obviously if it's not been mistreated or obvious that it's been damaged through use, anything fault wise, they'll replace parts free of charge and send them out to you. I'll put a link to the terms and conditions for it, but obviously this will be down to them whether they deem it a manufacturer's or a user's fault on the product. So the consumables for this one, you've got obviously the skin and the neck piece. So for the replacement parts, you can get a pack of 50 of these for £115, so it works out around £2.30 per student. So it is cheaper than the Simulab's one. So again, it depends on what you want to use it for. These are ridiculously easy to replace. You literally just slot them in. They also have various different skins, so you can have just the standard skin, which can then be rotated around once you've had multiple cuts in. You don't even need to replace the skin if they're just going to be replacing the bit underneath. We found that you can cut this and use the same hole for multiple people. They have also different thicknesses of skins, so you can get thin ones, the standard one which comes with it, and also thicker ones with blood as well, but they are quite expensive. Something we're going to look at doing is replacing the skin with something that we can come up with so we can make it bleed as and when we want. Hopefully we'll do a video on that at some point in the future, so if you get subscribed you'll be able to see that when it comes out. So the skin price for these are £88 for 5 of them, but obviously you get multiple uses out of them. You can rotate it around, so you get quite a lot of use all the way around the neck. Again, we've not seen the one with the blood, but I'm guessing from what it will be, it'll probably a one use. You cut, you'll get the bleed, and that'll be it. I don't think it'll be a replacement, but we've not seen them, so I can't really say whether that is the case or not. Of course, if they send us any, we're more than happy to try them out and let you guys know what we think of them. So ease of use wise, they come straight in the bag, no problems whatsoever, nice and lightweight, so that they're easy enough to move around and set up. There comes suction cups on the bottom for picking up is good, but it depends on what type of surface it's going to go onto. So the table I'm on at the moment is quite a textured surface, so it doesn't stick that well to it, so picking it up is not a problem. On a surface which has got more suction to it, they will stick, but we have found that it only works in a vertical sort of motion, so picking up you'll be stuck to the table, but laterally you can still, when you're doing scoping and stuff like that, it will slide. So we've done tests with a push-pull gauge on these to see how much force we could apply upwards. We had about 10k before we thought it was going to break, so we stopped on that one, lifting directly upwards. With the lateral movement, we found that you hardly had to apply any pressure before they started sliding. And this is something that other people have also said as well. We thought that there could be a slight modification to the back of the design. So some kind of L bracket that will come attached to these screw threads here, come over and just go over the table, stop it from sliding over the edge of the table, so it looks like an L bracket, so as you're doing the airway movement it doesn't then slide forward. This is something that they could possibly release as a extra bit that you could buy, or potentially send it out to all the customers that they've already got to stop this happening if other people have this same issue. Something to stop this sliding pressure as well would be if you're doing it with somebody else applying the cricoid pressure, this would then put some of the downward force on it, so when doing the airway movement, it won't then slide forward on the table. For our purposes, we bought them mainly for the tracheostomy, but saving us having to use meat products and then dispose of the meat products safely and properly. So what we bought them for was this, and it is good for that. The airway for the model, like any airway model, will get better with time. The more you use the lubrication spray in the mouth, the more the airway will become lubricated, and it will make things easier to insert. Obviously recommended on using the airway spray every single time you use it, but this doesn't always happen, as people either forget or they don't do it in practice, so why would they do it on a mannequin type sort of thing? So it's one of those things that if you spray it up before they use it, it will be fine for them during, but practice wise on the mannequins, it's easier for them to spray it each time, and then they shouldn't have any issues with it getting stuck in the airway. Again, it's a great airway, does all the things other than it will slide around on the table. That's one of the main issues that we've had with it after using it and testing it for a while. Another couple of issues, which are not really massive issues but more just sort of design elements that could have been changed, are the tongue swelling, which is not the easiest of bits to reach. This could have been piped down, being towards the bottom, so you could reach it without having to pull something out of the from underneath the neck, as well as the lung bags are blue, which is fine. The stomach bag could have been a different colour and smaller or anything like that, but I assume this again is for manufacturing purposes because they're all identical, so if you have to replace one, you can replace them all type sort of thing. So after putting our unboxing video on social media, we found had some replies to it, people not overly keen on them, some people like loving it, so here are some of the people's thoughts. So that's what we think. Now to one of the end users.
Hi there, I'm Dr. Mark Barley. I'm a consultant anaesthetist at Nottingham University Hospital's NHS Trust. I'm the airway lead and I have a particular interest in difficult airway management, training and education. Today I'm going to run through some of the features and benefits and perhaps disadvantages of these two TruCorp anatomical heads used for intubation training. The Advanced Crike is an anatomical simulator for practicing both fibre optic and standard oral intubation techniques, as well as emergency front of neck access. This model has a single nostril on the left-hand side for fibre optic techniques and nasal intubation, which is slightly unusual, as we teach and many colleagues will intubate into the right nostril where possible for ergonomics. The front of neck access is covered by this piece of fake skin. Underneath lies a reasonably well made anatomical cricoid and thyroid cartilage, and there's a neck which has been cut into many times, certainly a popular piece of equipment. The new design has a different feel to the skin. The neck anatomy is different. It has this wraparound piece of skin which one unpeels. I do think that having the Velcro visible does remove some of the reality, so carefully positioning that around the back might be the best thing to do. But it opens to reveal a nicely detailed, reusable cricothyroid and laryngeal piece. When removed, we can see the thyroid cartilage and the lower trachea. These pieces are removable and can be cut through for practicing front of neck access, and they clip back into place. Additionally, there are right and left lung pieces on a mirror image carina, so different from an anatomical carina. So of course both of these are coming off at the same angle, and there's also a gastric port. On this model you can see that we simply have a left lung, so perhaps more useful for demonstrating endobronchial intubation rather than bronchoscopy. One would add that on the right side here, of course, we would benefit from having a right upper lobe bronchus, which would make fibre optic techniques that little bit more interesting, particularly if using a double lumen tube to practice confirming that the tube was inserted in the correct plane. So the airway themselves, good to have both nostrils accessible. Neither model has the optional clicky teeth. The airway is nice and malleable on the newer model, a little bit stiffer on the old model if one's going to practice jaw thrust, mouth opening, chin lift, etc. This model that we have, the advanced crike, comes with a foam headpiece which one can use to try to make the mannequin more difficult to intubate. I will add that both of these are very easy to intubate. These are not difficult intubation mannequins by any stretch of the imagination. We filmed some video of the inside of the mannequins. What we've identified is that actually the anatomy is better in the older model than in the newer model, and there's a number of reasons why. If we look through the video of the nasendoscopy, although we have the advantages of 2 nostrils on the newer model, we identify an unusual transition from the nasopharynx into the oropharynx, which is a completely round piece of latex material. So it really takes away some of the realism when compared with the older model. When one performs laryngoscopy and looking at the larynx itself, the glottis on the old mannequin looks nice, looks very much like a healthy adult, whereas in the newer mannequin, the arytenoid cartilages look edematous and swollen, which is again not fitting with a healthy adult. The vocal cords are better on the old model. We've got much more the traditional anatomical inverted triangle shape, whereas they are almost circular in the newer mannequin and painted by hand in a fairly clumsy way. Actually, only the anterior part of the cords is actually painted or illustrated in the mannequin, whereas you've got the full circumference in the old device. So, looking at performing emergency front of neck access, and we're interested in how easy it is to pass the tube. So, applying a scalpel bougie tube technique, we'll assume we've already made the scalpel incision. We've just railroaded our bougie, and now we'll pass the tube over the top of that using a size 6 reinforced tube. So we've got a little bit of hold up, as one might anticipate from the cricoid cartilage there, but a bit of hold up on the back of the soft rubber wall of the mannequin. On the newer device, you'll see we've already made an incision through the cricoid membrane there, so bougie goes in nice and easily, and then railroad the endotracheal tube off the back. Actually, the endotracheal tube railroads really quite nicely off the back into the airway, and I think that's because the back wall of the trachea is relatively firm, and that guides the bougie and the tube around, which is a nice touch there, versus on the older model a really very, very soft trachea that doesn't really align with what we'd expect to find anatomically, although these techniques are challenging when performed in haste anyway. So, in summary, with the Advance X, the new feel skin is nice, the ability to perform jaw thrust, head tilt, chin lift's good, the tendons and movement within the plastic and latex is a little bit softer than the old model. Having both nostrils available for intubation or nasendoscopic techniques is a positive. I commented already on the anatomical issues that we've highlighted, that the bridge between the nasopharynx and the oropharynx is unrealistic. The transition point is demarcated by a ring of latex that we can see quite easily. We've mentioned also that the arytenoid cartilages appear edematous and swollen compared to the older mannequin, and the illustration of the vocal cords is also perhaps a little bit subpar when compared to the older model, which conforms much nicer with what we'd expect to see in a healthy adult with normal glottic anatomy.
Thanks for sticking with us. Let us know in the comments below what you think, if there's anything else that you might want to include in on these type of videos, if there's any products you'd like us to try and get hold of that we can do a review on. And as always, remember to subscribe, get the notifications on, and thank you very much. We'll see you in the next video.